Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Average Superstar TV. I am your host, Lauren Lepre. Please give me that honor and punch that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. And this week we have got an awesome roundtable. This is pre-recorded, but so everybody knows, this is 5 minutes after the Walking Dead series finale just ended. So that is what we're going to be talking about. We are super fans of The Walking Dead. It's been an amazing ride, a big portion of our life. If you really think about it, it's been around, 11 years. So let's just say we all passed away at age 70. This is 1/7 of our life, really, if you really think about it. It's freaking really crazy when you think about that. But this was a show that, for us horror fans, it was just spot on. I mean, obviously it had its moments where there was a little like, okay, I'm going to stick with this. But for overall, I think this was an amazingly acted show first, me being an actor. I just really loved how this show was one of those, not too many people came in, like, Samantha Norton and, Negan and all that. These were named people, but from the ground up, The Walking Dead just made stars. They took a lot of people from scratch and boom. So with that, I would like to go around the room. Lewis, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Yes, Lewis is active in the Monster Mania circuit and a big-time horror fan. And then we got Crazy Gabe, one of the most boring people I've ever met in my entire life.
Very much so.
Yeah. Gabe never has anything to say. So.
I got tons to say. I've been going to Monster Mania also since 2006 or 7. So I'm a veteran, I guess you could say, as much as I don't look like it.
Sweet. And Gabe, really quick, I know you have your own podcast. Feel free to plug that.
I will, but I'll do that at the end.
Okay, cool. And direct from the UK. Yes, I said the UK, which I believe she just said it's 3 a.m, right where you're at right now?
3:39, so nearly 4.
Sweet. Well, Scotty, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, guys, just gonna throw some pizzazz to the show, but yeah, this is a show that has been with us for, like I just said, for 11 years. I mean, what a cast! It's kind of funny because this wrapped and my emotions are all up here. I mean, I really liked everything I saw. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm really happy what I saw for the ending there. I really also dug that, like, within an hour, the battle was over, and now you're kind of saying goodbye to everybody. I thought that was a cool wraparound. But Lewis, what was your initial thoughts of what you just saw?
Okay, well, first off, I was not able to watch the episode, and I'm a little behind. So,
all right,
but listen, it's a spoiler. Sorry, I mean, obviously, social media destroyed any hopes and thoughts that I wouldn't have, anything not knowing what's going on. But
other than this last episode, you kept right up with it. I know you were saying.
Yeah, I tried my best. I actually want to go back and rewatch a couple seasons just because I got to catch back up and be consistent with it. But you know what I mean. But you're dead on with the actors.
Dead on.
Yeah, I think even from season 1 starting on, like they had. I mean, if you look at where some of these actors are now, having Daryl, Merrill, it's like, from it just was an amazing cast, and it's amazing actors. Some shows take off, and you're just like, all right, the acting's okay, but it was like really good, and and it's crazy because like, going back to Night of the Living Dead, that was the first zombie movie I saw, and probably that was the first zombie movie technically.
It's the first flesh-eating zombie movie. Yes,
exactly. Yes.
Usually zombies before that they could possess something, a monster to do something. This is definitely the first flesh-eating movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I've always been a fan of like the zombies and stuff like that, and like it was weird because you'd always have, you know, growing up watching these movies, you always have this imagination of the reality, you know, even though you know it's not for real. But like when I remember the first couple episodes of Walking Dead, I'm like, damn, dude, this is really what I imagined it to be. You know what I mean? It really took you into a deserted city, you know, aside from all the movies that came out before this, you know, like in different stuff, but like it was just really like you were like it just hooked you right in. It wasn't just like I'm gonna try this out and watch the first 5 episodes.
One of the things that was really cool about this whole thing was I don't think AMC had a lot of confidence in the show because the first season they only ordered 6 episodes. I think they were like, "You want us to fund a television show about zombies?" Awesome. You know, I think they were just like, "We'll give you 6," and probably didn't think it was going to work. And then when they did, they're like, "Full season, go!"
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I, dude, like I said, you said, you know, I mean, it came to a conversation piece that I told everybody I know, like, dude, you got to watch the show. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah, and to me, the first 6 episodes, I was like, cool, but I was also kind of like, not enough. It was just one of them, like, not enough. Then the second season was like, there wasn't a lot going on, but you were getting what was cool, I said about the actors, you were getting to know the characters about like, they're hanging out in the country, basically getting a free pass for a long time compared to finally when the walkers caught up to them. But that's what did it. And then here comes season 3 with the prison right into, to my eyes, the best bad guy, period, was the governor. And the reason I say the governor was the best bad guy because Negan was likable. I thought Samantha Norton, I thought she was likable. I did not think that this man in any way, shape, or form, like there was just nothing to like about him. Like I fell into being a fan of like, I want him to die. I want him to die. I want him to die. You know? So basically as an actor, that guy did his job. Oh my God.
But he wasn't dying either. You know what I mean? It was like, it was like, I want him to die, but he's like not even coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, Scotty, what was your initial thoughts on what you just saw?
I'm not gonna lie, I was bawling. I've had to like wipe makeup off my face before I popped in. I was like, oh God. It was so heart-wrenching, wasn't it? It was like, oh God.
And you had it was a minor character, but you had a death right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, wow, within 3 minutes, like someone's gone. You're just like, wow. And it was one of the I call it the jump start from when Rick died. It was the 6 years later jump, like one of those characters, you know. And I thought it was cool. They were trying to hand him the harmonica because, you know, he loved music so much. Like, could you play one last song? But he couldn't. So I thought that was cool. But Gabe, out of the gate, what'd you think?
Well, just FYI, I'm a big fan of that guy who, the one who got killed off at the very beginning, including, you know, the other person. And I cried also because I met the guy, and I'm a big fan of him for many years. And also he's a character in real life, by the way, because but more focused on the episode. I think it was beautifully executed. First of all, I just want to mention like one of the many great things about the show is the character development is so beautiful throughout all 11 seasons. So well written. The chemistry is just you don't have that in a lot of TV shows. You'll have The Simpsons, where obviously every episode, the other things like it's like they don't exist. Family Guy, even Law and Order, you have different side things, but you have people replace characters in terms they're not just like, oh, you got a new black main character in Walking Dead, but whatever. But I'm saying is it's like the lawyers. You have so many different lawyers and cops over the time. But in terms of the main characters, you have the legacy characters, the veteran, and then you have the new characters, and you have the characters that are new, but then you grow up. But the whole relationship between everybody, even the villains, like you've seen Negan's character evolve, his relationship with Maggie. That's like one of the biggest, like, I don't know if you watch
Penny Dreadful. That sit down at the end between them two was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, I cried. But also, like, I don't know if you watch Penny Dreadful. If any of you have watched Penny Dreadful, it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Like at the beginning of the show, it's 3 seasons. The beginning of the show, you want what you feel like is the most evil character to die, and everybody else is human. But as the show continues, they become more monstrous, and the most seemingly evil character at the beginning becomes the most human. And by the end, your heart breaks for the character, like you're crying for the one you once wished to die because you were so evil at the beginning of the first season.
Yes.
Your heart by the end, like he's your favorite. He's your
and I love how when he was saved by everyone in the previous episode, like he finally got what he did. Like I think he was kind of sorrowful, but like now he really knew what he did. He really.
So that thing about Penny Dreadful made me think of Negan. Like but not only that, you love he's funny, he's fun, and you don't just love it, you empathize and you fear for him. You end up loving it. Like he's become a fan favorite
by far
after becoming one of the most one of the most hated villains. Even after what Alpha did with the Pikes, that episode. Listen, the episode with Negan bashing the heads, yes, that got me, but nothing made me cry.
I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know. I don't follow the comic. So when that happened, I was like, wow. I was like,
I read some of the graphic novels since like 2006 or 7. So I didn't finish them. So I follow a lot. I've been into it before people even knew what it was. And I got to tell you, there was stuff in the graphic novels you could not show on television. Yeah. Because there was stuff in there that was like, I think there was something in the prison that wasn't shown in the show where one of the characters in the prison that when they broke in decapitated 2 like 5-year-old girls. You cannannot do that. Not just
you gotta watch with the kid.
I mean, that's the graphic novel, but like that's why it's you can't. There's certain things. There's a limit because that's like snuff level. You can't do that.
So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna go through some characters on initial thoughts. I was gonna save this particular character for later, but I'm honestly my gut is wrenching because I heart the girl so much. Good Lord. I just like to start off by saying this is one of the most striking women I've ever seen in my life. Every week I tuned in. I hate to say it to look at her. I was so in love with this character. I know she's married in real life and all that, but there's always hope. Maybe she gets divorced and I could end up with her someday. But
tomorrow's a new day.
I met her before she was married and it's just FYI.
Oh my! But wow, if there was one curveball in this episode, when she fell, I was like, "That sucks." My initial thoughts though is she fell. This sucks hard, but that's a cool way. Like, wow, her and the baby are gonna go. So when she sprung up, I was a little like, we just jumped the shark. Like, you can't get away. And then when she did, and I'm like, oh, she got clipped. I was like, okay. I thought it was like a cool way, but yeah, that killed me. Like, just killed me. I just thought she burst onto the scene and was kind of quiet, like when she was with Abram. Like she didn't even talk for like a lot of episodes. But you want to talk about a character that came out of her shell and was, to me, she's one of the main characters. Like right under Daryl and Carol, of course, and Maggie. But like, wow, that was great. I'm glad that when she went, like you didn't see them stab her in the ear or anything. I was like, good, just cut right to a year. I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was so well done. But Scotty, what'd you think when that happened?
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was having a heart attack when she fell. I was like, oh god. I was like, I can't deal with this. I thought I was actually gonna have low-key like an actual heart attack. I was like, oh god. I was like, I can't deal with this. I was so glad when the commercials come up because I was like, I need a minute. I actually need a minute. Usually I'm like, no, you know what I mean? But I was like, I need a second. I need a minute to just.
Yeah, that was a sorry, Lewis. Yeah, that you just got hit hard with a spoiler there.
No. Listen, like I said, I'd rather get the full effect, man. Seriously, it's all good. I honestly, I listen. I'm such a fan of the show. Regardless, I'll have the same reaction. It's just honestly, it's one of my top favorite shows. Honestly,
I kind of knew someone had to go. Like I was thinking it was going to be Ezekiel. I thought that too was going to be the main. I just was like, it's got to be someone on that. But she's right on that par too. So I got it. Gabe, what was your thoughts of this character?
So I'll be honest. Well, first of all, I want to say when she first appeared in the show, first scene in like season, I don't know, 4, was it? Like with 4 or something?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Everybody, like people's reaction was like people's reaction, girls and guys were like, there are prostitutes in the zombie apocalypse because the way she was dressed.
Yeah.
Like that was like people's reaction at first. Like it's like, but first of all, even though like you didn't think like, because I think in the graphic novels, Gabriel like basically gets eaten when he's trying to climb a ladder.
I heard
So
that. Yeah.
I thought they were gonna do that to Rosita and kill the baby or not kill the baby and not show it because that's a little too much. And that's why when I saw her fall, I thought, oh, this is them, because I thought they were like they switched her out with Tara, that they were gonna switch Gabriel's fade out with her, doing that, spin-off, sort of like we thought Glenn, people thought, because Glenn was the only one killed by Negan in the books, but they switched up and there's somebody else. Oh, then they drop, it's a 2 people thing. But I do want to mention in the second season, that famous scene where they open up the barn and, with Shane does the whole speech, and you realize that was, what's her name's, Carol's daughter.
Yeah, Sophia.
Yeah.
That moment, you realize anyone can die. It's fair game. If
probably one of the saddest deaths in television history too. Seeing Carol like, yeah. And to me, that was when Daryl came human, because he was still kind of like edgy and stuff, and like but I think Carol is what made him like screw everyone. I just want to survive by myself. Made him human. And turn him into the good guy that he is now.
Yeah.
I think that's why he felt there was some romance there. And that's why fans wanted there to be romance.
I have to say, too, I'm very happy they said they loved each other and didn't kiss. There was something about it. I was like, I don't want to see them do it. I'm going to hit the rewind. I'm going to hit the rewind and keep going through a few characters. No way we're going to be able to get through all of them. We'd be here for 2 days.
I want to quickly mention something. If you watch the show Hannibal, you never see, if you watch the show Hannibal, but there's like a heterosexual bromance between Will Graham and Hannibal, but they never kiss. So it's almost like there's a romance between Carol. But they end up having, but there's a romance between Carol and Daryl, but I think Daryl is more like, he's so grateful for her that I think that's why I think when she did stuff that got other people killed or hurt, that's why I think that is why he could see why he was so angry at her, because she was the one that brought him to have a heart. So when she was careless, you could see whenever she was careless, he got so angry at her.
It was like almost like it's not fair.
So it's almost like you're the one who changed me to have a heart, and you're so heartless with cares other people's lives. I think that's why you saw his anger so heated at her whenever she did that. You really, and I think that's another thing about the character development, the relationships. It's not just the heart, it's a drama. It's one of television's greatest dramas.
Yes, it is.
You realize, it's truly
the zombie part is the subplot. If you really think about it, it's about it was about the communities. That's really what it was about, and human emotion and how you react. Yeah. I'm gonna keep burning. I'm gonna try to keep burning through characters here. So this I'm gonna hit the rewind button. Like I said, there's no way we're gonna get through all these characters, but I figured this was a character everybody loved. I'm hitting the rewind button.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
Yeah, good old Herschel Scott Glenn, who Gabe I actually met in the Monster Mania bar. I met him at the Monster Mania bar probably a year before he passed. What a great guy. What a great character. I just think I dug the whole idea of him trying to say, like, I can cure these people. They're just sick. I'll keep them in the barn until I figure it out. I thought it was cool that he didn't want to give up on people. I thought that was a cool out of the gate sort of thing.
I have the coolest picture, Lauren. I'll send it to you at Monster Mania when he was there, probably the same one, because Michonne was at the same one.
Okay.
And it was Michonne just walked into her table. She got there, and I believe her and Scott didn't see each other for a long time.
Oh.
And I have a picture of them two looking at each other, hugging, Like, oh my God, it's so good to see. It was I was there for like it was awesome to see because how the characters on set and how much love they had for each other off set too. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, Scotty.
And he was a great guy.
What's your thoughts on the Scott Glenn or Herschel?
I know when I first, when he was like the whole thing with the bar, and I was like, oh, for goodness sake. I was like, but he came like how that when they come out the barn and they're shooting them, he's seen like
Yeah.
did a
Shane
full
kind of
180.
woke him up. Shane
Oh yeah,
woke him up.
yeah, just a little bit.
It was like you can't. Shane was pretty much like you cannot do this. You know
No,
what I mean?
And
it's gonna end up killing his daughters in it. So
and
so he
again,
did-
it goes back to also why another reason to hate the governor. Like because he took him, he took out one of the most beloved characters.
Well, and then the governor was hiding his daughter too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mhm.
So it was kind of sort of like the whole Herschel thing in a way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like he was hiding his daughter because he couldn't kill her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see, he had to say so. Him and Herschel, in a way, were almost alike, and
Yeah,
they both suffered of hoping they could do something to turn it around. But
yeah,
definitely thought he is someone we had a chat about for a second. I'm going to jump onto a newer character that everybody rapidly liked, including me.
Oh
Yeah. This girl just came out of the gate. Like you just knew, like this character is going to be fun. Like I love how they introduced her.
yeah.
I know fans were waiting for this character to come along, but Scotty, what was your first?
Oh, I loved her. The minute I seen her and she's laughing when he's like, how like was it Ezekiel, and they're coming down the street and all the zombies are like propped up to make them look like they were still alive and stuff, and he's just laughing and she's like, hi, and it's like, oh, she's great. She's hilarious. I wasn't sure what they were going to do with her character. I wasn't sure if they were going to keep her, and I'm so glad they did because she's golden. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
You could just tell from her energy, like
Yeah.
straight off from her energy. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was weird because she went from kind of nutty, but they kind of brought her back to because she started loving the group, so she kind of came more responsible and less like when they were walking through the minefield and stuff. She didn't even tell them. You're just like, this is what you do to your friends. You don't even tell her walking through a minefield. But yeah, she was cool. She was at New Jersey HorrorCon and she actually wore like. She had the exact outfit on, like if
That's awesome.
The exact outfit. It was crazy. But Lewis, what was your thoughts of this character?
Same thing, man. She's just her energy. She was just like, like you said, it was. I don't know, man. It's one of those characters when you see her, you're like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna be awesome. It's a different twist on the serious characters, and you kind of didn't know which way she was gonna go, but it was awesome.
Cool. Gabe, your thoughts on Princess?
She's a little loud, but I got to do my Princess impression. Oh my God! Hi. Sorry, shotgun out for that.
Hell yeah!
Out for that. I didn't have the AK-47. Anyway, no, she was an interesting one. I can tell you, I found her quite annoying at first, but fun at the same time. Sort of like me.
Yeah. So you two are perfect for each other.
I'm into the purple hair, but he's a little too tomboyish for me. But I don't think this is a matchmaker thing. So let's move on.
She's not no Rosita's. Just saying.
No, Rosita's the only other character on the show. If you want to know, like besides Rosita, that I liked a lot was this one. I just think,
really?
God, what a beautiful girl! Great bone structure in her face. I thought Nadia. I thought her character kind of got lost in this last season. I just didn't think like they did much with her.
Same thing with Dan Culver's character. Yeah, he like came back 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, like yeah. I thought a lot of I don't know if the other cast, like I don't know what everyone's doing. Like, did they get jobs at other shows that limited them being there for the last season? So I thought there was a lot. What?
The actor passed away. One of the actors from like a season and a half ago or so passed away. So that's why. So they never really ended up explaining his character, what happened. But I guess it just like it could just be that It was one of the I forgot what his name was, but he actor really. It was like a side character. I think it was from during the Negan fight. He was in that thing helping fight the when he was fighting when Negan was the bad guy still. And well, I forgot the actor's name, but he passed away. So that's one of the guys.
Okay.
He was sort of a side character. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to the next character, which we all know well. We already kind of touched on him, but let's just have a blast with this one. We'll take our time. The man himself, Negan. Really, I think him and his dialogue alone, his delivery, the first thing I'm always going to remember about him. I've always wanted a show like the Tales from the Walking Dead. Like if they can make a one-off episode, I don't know why, how they could do this, but I'd love to have Negan, Beta, and Eugene on a road trip in a car somewhere, because I think the dialogue would be like the best thing in the world. I just think it would, like, they could go to Wally World or something. I don't care. Like, I just want to see them three in a car, because I loved how Negan used to just push Beta's buttons so much. But...
Yeah.
Question: who is the British show host that takes the people in the car and drives down? What's his name? Was it Gaffigan or the other guy?
No,
it's Gaffigan or the other guy. You should do a Walking Dead episode with the three of them in the car.
That would be actually great. But they'd probably be singing songs, right?
Yeah. But could you imagine Eugene's like dialogue with them? Because we'll get to Eugene in a bit, but I just think those three personalities would be amazing in the car. Yeah. But getting back to Negan, the reason I say the governor was still the best bad guy. Number one, I said he wasn't likable at all, but the governor was actually going to kill Rick. Like if Michonne didn't show up one-on-one, Rick was done.
Yeah.
Negan, to me, the things I think, like the thing you hated about him was this, like, yo, I got 200 people behind me. You can't win. Like, he was that guy that kind of didn't get his hands too dirty. He had like strength in numbers compared to the governor. Could like, I'll fight you one-on-one, no problem. But that was one of the things that I liked but disliked about Negan. It was one of those things about, God, I can't wait for Rick to fight this guy one-on-one. But he had some of the best lines, period.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things too where when his debut happened and they're all on their knees, as a viewer, you look at what would you do here. And when Rick for the first time is kind of like groggy, like he doesn't know what to do, that was me as a viewer. I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Like,
dude, my anxiety was through the freaking roof on that episode, dude. Because I'm like, all right, who's it gonna be?
Yeah, but you're just like, what do you do to fight? You can't. You're all dead.
There's nothing you can do, and that goes back to what I was saying. They hook you in, so it's like you not only. It not only was a show like all right, you love to hate these characters, like then and it was just like Terminus, dude, when they're whacking people in the back of the head. I thought that was
probably the most violent thing you've ever saw on TV was that Terminus part at the pig throttles. Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you got these everybody bound with people behind them. If someone gets them to run, you die. If someone says something, you die. Mm-hmm. It's like you're like, oh shit, what would I do? But he's
one of those times as a viewer, I was just like, I don't know what to do.
Dude,
he's like cut off Carl's arm, and you're like, oh my god, like this, wow, like.
Yeah, but he can't tell me he is an amazing actor though. Like to have someone match his role they're dead on, man. He's awesome.
And I think the coolest curveball about Negan, he loved kids. He just that was like an absolutely off limits was the harm. Like he said to cut Carl's arm off. You knew he wasn't going to really do that. You learned that quick, and then he got attached to Carl, and then one of his own guys a few episodes later, almost molested one of Rick's guys, and he's just like he's gutted him right there. His own guy, that's how much he has zero tolerance. So he's kind of he's still kind of human under there. He's just was a dictator. Like when he was making everybody kneel, I was like, okay, dude.
Well,
All right.
he just wanted everything and everybody in the world his way. If you don't, then you're an enemy.
Yeah.
True.
Scotty,
At
your
least he had
thoughts on him? Yeah, go for it.
He did he was deplorable at the beginning, how with the waves and stuff, but he did make a valid point. But it was kind of it was just really hard, especially being female as well. It's like they're there and they're getting looked after and they've agreed to it, but it's still exploitation in it. So it's just rough and it's hard to like him. And I hated that I did, and I was like, I'm so conflicted. So, but his character development, especially this last episode, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean?
When
Like,
you look when he was locked up as a prisoner, like what really turned him human, he was talking to Judith all the time.
yeah.
Like you saw, like he loved the biggest enemy he's had, kid. Like he loved Judith. Like it was like, it was, and that was this. He was just amazing. I'm sure we'll get back to him more. But speaking of Judith, want to talk about who I think might be Hollywood's blockbuster. I mean, as long as she doesn't go off the rails like other childhood actors, I think this girl is just amazing as an actress. Wow. And I loved how she was introduced. I love that 6-year jump. And I love how I just thought she was great. And she's also like she could kick ass, but she's still human. Like no matter what, even like tonight with the governor, when the governor was almost going to throw herself, at her son, you'd say, all right, I'm out of guilt, you could have me. And she was like, don't do it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She embodied Carl right there.
Yeah, she was awesome. She was awesome, man. It was like you said, like even as an actor and how they introduced her, it was freaking. She did a great job, man. She nailed that role seriously.
Yeah. Were you talking, Gabe? You were jumping in there.
Sorry,
Gabe.
Yeah. So I was saying she embodied Carl there, like the Carl.
Yes, she did.
But I will say I met her, and she is one of the toughest cookies I have ever met in the industry, next to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Really, like what? Just tough?
Really? Oh, she is tough. Like I was there when she first met Lori, but I'm saying, for the first time, her birth mother, quote unquote, on the cruise. But she's sweetheart, but she's easy to make laugh. However, when it comes to her character, she's like Judith squared in real life. Like she put the other actors in their place. She put the fans in their place. She put Sean Clark in his place. The agent, but she is hilarious. She's badass, and I'm like, her and Jackson Robert Scott, who played Georgie in It, are two of the most. They're going to be award-winning actors.
She's going to be. Yep.
Yeah.
They are. Oh wow! Like her spunk is like, don't mess with her.
Yeah, she's sharp. That's good. I hope her career just keeps going on and on because she's a ball of talent.
Yeah, and you said she embodied Carl there, man. It's that on. It almost like is a very close image of him. You know what I mean? It's just,
And I didn't think about it until just now, but if you really think about it, the governor of this show shot her, and she was still saying, "Don't kill yourself." Like she had forget that's Carl up. Like that's way Carl. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But moving on with characters, the great Ezekiel,
man.
Yeah, like really, really freaking cool character. I loved the whole debut with the lion.
I mean,
I would say it was absolutely absurd that a lion was killed by zombies. That's like thousands of pounds that could have ran right through him. I thought that was the stupidest thing ever. But I think they were getting annoyed doing the CGI. I think they were just like, we gotta get rid of this freaking lion.
Yeah, they're like, you're sucking up all our money, bro.
Yeah. But I thought his development was great because you completely especially when Carol met him, she just fell right. Oh, you're a king. Like, he was pulling that, but then you start seeing him break down and coming a little more. He was doing it to keep everyone's spirit up. Like he knew the entire time he really wasn't, a king.
No, and I'm drawing a blank. Is the other guy that would dress in the arm? It was almost like they all had
Gary.
Yes, Gary. Said they had this little palace going. but you see him first, you're like, oh shit, this dude's got a line. This is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
But like watching this character evolve, like you said, that like all the characters, I mean, especially they all had a different meaning. You know what I mean? And all brought different stuff to everybody.
I'm still confused. I mean, why did the kingdom get? What happened that the kingdom went away? Because
I think the crops failed, didn't it? They were struggling. They had I can't remember what bugs they were, but there was.
But
bugs
it wasn't. It was. I think we were in the Whisperers era, and all of a sudden it's just like he's leaving it. And I'm like, wasn't that this? Did I miss something? I didn't.
Well,
I don't know how his kingdom got damaged.
Yeah,
I know.
I think there was something with the crop. I think there was one place they left because the food was spoiling, and the one place was burnt down by the Whispers when Negan.
So they burnt down his place. Is that what they did?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I don't remember like what happened to it because
that burned down, and there was a place they had to leave because all the ground was dead when they were trying to grow food there. So there were two different places they had to leave behind.
So then they moved it. Half moved to Alexandria, and the other half moved to Hilltop.
Yeah, Hilltop was the one that burnt down because that's when the Whisperers came. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Because I was just looked up one day and I'm like, what happened here? I was just like, what the hell happened with this here? But coolness.
Sitting for Oceanside for a while. They spoke of Oceanside. You didn't see Oceanside for a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Moving on with characters. My fan favorite. What an actor. I'm gonna miss this guy's rambling because I just love how he can just go and like no smile. It's all like the mullet, the nerdness, and the heart he had. You want to talk about a character that developed because Eugene's big thing was just survive. It's all he was survive. I mean, he joined Negan only because he thought he was the stronger side.
Yeah,
and then out of guilt, he helped bring Negan down and. Even this guy that set him up I don't forget the character's name, the governor's son that set him up with like the girl, and it wasn't really the girl. He was supposed to. You just saw with him with a broken heart, like he's going to bring this whole place down. I just knew it was going to be Eugene. Eugene's the one that gaslit that whole place, but. Yeah, I just think Josh McDermott. Yeah, what
his rambling was crazy. He was annoying to me at first, and then he got his character got better.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
His character, I thought, part of it he was autistic. The character. I mean,
yeah,
in a sense. I do want to mention the first Walking Dead cruise. They said we'll have a surprise guest, and I found out what it is. However, I heard that Eugene, the guy who plays Eugene McDermott, made an appearance. And it's funny but before I was at the cafeteria on the cruise and I thought I saw him. I thought it was somebody in cosplay as him in the cafeteria. And I thought after it was him that was a surprise guest on the cruise. And then I realized, that was him right next to me in the cafeteria. It's like I was standing next to Eugene and I'm like, it's a cosplayer.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Sweet. All right, moving on. We're getting down to the big ones here.
Oh,
look how young she is here too. I pulled an older clip, but Melissa McBride.
Dude, when you talk about like having an iffy situation, dude, when she was like, "Look at the flowers," I was like, "Oh man, dude, Jesus!" I'm like, "Dude, this show's gonna get canceled." I'm like, they just
without a doubt.
Kid.
To me, the first season, the very first 6 episodes, she was to me invisible. Like, she got beat up by her ex, by the husband was abusing her, and even the second season, you didn't really feel for her to that final episode because she was just a broke mother walking through the woods with Daryl and not know what to do. So
she was badass. To
me, she was like a back elbow. Like they could eat her at any time. And then literally, like when she does that switch, wow, what an awesome character that came out.
Yeah, dude, she was great. I hope she comes back to Monster Mania, dude. I really do.
She's never. I don't think she's. I never see her at any conventions outside of the Walking Dead stuff. I don't know if she's.
Well, she was okay. So she was scheduled. Remember, she was scheduled to come to Monster Mania and canceled.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was supposed to be her and Daryl with the spinoff, and I don't think she wants to do this. I think she wants to do other acting roles, not get out of the. At least that's what I'm thinking, because now it says Daryl, so she dropped out. So
yeah,
but
I heard it was because it's set overseas. She didn't want to leave her family that long.
Yeah, it's set in France. I think. I think that's for Daryl. Yeah. Well, I mean. You want to talk about a character that when she went dark, to me, she was the darkest character out of all of Rick's team. More than Daryl at the beginning. Like when she turned that switch, she was making the fastest killing decisions.
Yes, she was, dude.
If any of the people got bit, she on her own team, she was like, "Yeah, relax." I ain't waiting for you to wake up.
Dude, she was like the hitman, the hit woman. You know what I mean? It's like I got this. Don't worry, guys.
And single-handedly took down Terminus. Single-handedly.
Yeah.
But she also probably endured some of the most loss of any character. Like she lost everybody related to her husband, and then her daughter, and then she lost her the one she adopted with Ezekiel. And those are two of the most emotional episodes ever. Yeah. And as dark as she is badass, and she's the softest. It starts off as the softest, becomes the most badass. As dark as she can be, your heart breaks for her. In those, you could rewatch those episodes, and I can never not cry those episodes. Mm-hmm. The one where she loses her daughter and then her son, and it's just like, and it's interesting because the young one who plays her son, the one who played in the Head of the Pike, is the younger brother of the actress who played Sophia Lynch.
Yeah, so both of her brothers got into the show, and that's crazy. It was like a family.
Yeah, it's nuts. I actually have a shirt. I have the shirt that says "Just look at the flowers."
Rick looked at the flowers the first episode. Rick looked at the flowers the first episode.
Yeah,
he woke up in the hospital bed. The flowers were right by his side. He was the first one to look at the flowers. Sorry, I just had to.
All good. Moving on to another major character who's not done with the show.
Oh man.
Yeah, the great Maggie. So
Maggie.
Season 2 veteran going forward. Yeah. Minus a season off, and I completely agree and understand why she left the show, or when Ezekiel came in and got more money than her, like the actor. She took it as an insult to women and said, "I'm out." And I thought that was a good idea. I completely understand. And then she did that. I think it was a show on CBS, and I don't think it did good. I think it was like a cop show or something. And then she came back, and I'm sure they worked a better deal out for her. But
even her character, like when Glenn died, dude, you seen her go pretty dark too, man. You know what I mean? She just was like, "What do I have to live for?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought her biggest moment, there was two of them, acting wise. One was tonight when she sat down with Negan and kind of still said, "I hate you, but I'm trying not to, and here's why and how I feel." But I definitely love the part where when Negan was locked up and she storms in and tells Michonne and Carol, "Get out of the way, like I'm ending it now." And then she sees a broken Negan. Like she could have did it there, but realized like, you're in such pain, I'd rather see you suffer. I'm gonna let you rot in the cell. Yeah. I thought that was a great I thought it was so well written that I just love that.
Yeah.
That same episode where Rick blew up the bridge. That was the same episode. It's a very powerful episode.
Yeah, I think it was a couple after. I think it was the 6 years later thing after Rick blew up.
Oh no. That was the same episode. Remember, she took the leave after the 6 years. She already. Yeah, it was the same episode because,
Okay. Scotty, your thoughts on Maggie?
I love Maggie. I think she's great. She's at, do you know the episode, the standalone episode where she's in the house and you've got those like feral humans? Because I thought they were like uber zombies. I was like, what the hell's happening here now in the trailer? It's very deceptive, isn't it? And she's just totally, oh no, am I getting her mixed up? I am getting her mixed up. But that was a good scene. But yeah, I met her standalone. She was saying about where she's had to like kill people because that guy had the girls in the attic and stuff. It was just like, oh Jesus. So she's had a really dark time away from the group. So
I'm more curious on if this show she's doing with Negan, like, is Herschel's character, like the little Herschel with her, or is she going to be leaving him at Alexandria? I'm kind of curious how that's going to work.
Yeah. She was awesome though, man. I mean, she was like that Southern girl, you know, when she came in and you met her, and it was just like, you know, her character was awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
And then, like, when she went dark, she started becoming badass.
Go on, Gabe.
I was saying I didn't even want to watch the trailer for their new show yet until I finished the final episode. But from the screenshot I saw, she's getting like, she looks like a biker babe, badass, like she's sitting at a bar with the haircut of the side, like gives it like badass biker, you know, lesbian, you know, one of those like, you know, you go to a lesbian bar and there's like badass biker girl at the bar, like you don't mess with because she'll kick your ass, like. That's the vibe she gave in the screenshot I saw from the upcoming show. But I haven't watched the trailer because I want to finish thing first.
Gotcha. Moving on to a blockbuster. The almighty Daryl. So I like how Norman Reedus started in season 1 as a special guest. I thought that was great because if he was the only like name, if you want to say, and how big was his name at the time, and then they wrote him in. I don't think his character was written in the comic book. I think that's just something that they threw in for the show.
Yeah, his character.
Yeah, Marilyn Cowell was on a TV show. Well, what was it called? The prison show, though. She was on that before.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Scotty. What were you gonna say?
I've loved his character development because I thought he was a bit of an ass right at the beginning, and he was. And obviously, you find out more about his backstory and his abusive family life, and you really just, he's got a heart, isn't he? He's just beautiful, beautiful person.
He definitely had one of the best characters on TV as an actor to me because he didn't have to say too much for about 9 seasons. He just got to grunt a little bit and like kick ass. That was like,
yeah.
Then when Rick left, they're just like, "All right, Norman, you're gonna have to start learning lines."
Yeah,
you're the man of the house.
It was sick with him, man. Like it was, you know, like you said, I really enjoyed his character, man. It was cool as shit because like when they would show like him and Merle, like Daryl was, it reminded you of like Merle being, you know, the quote unquote older brother used to beat up on him or whatever, and you know, Daryl being like, yo, this ain't right. You can't do this. You know what I mean? And like, you know, it was pretty awesome, man. His character was like, dude, you enjoyed watching the show for him, man. He was like the biggest. He blew up. I mean, especially coming from Boondock Saints. You know what I mean? It's just like, this was crazy for him, man.
I guess a puzzle piece of what we did see tonight. These two.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, sorry, Louis, you didn't get to see this part. But
that's okay. It's all good. Like I said,
what we understand they're both alive. We understand Michonne's looking for Rick. We understand Rick is I guess this got away and people were trying to track him and they found him. Is that what we think we saw?
I think so, yeah. She's definitely hot on his heels. She's not too far behind.
Who's chasing Rick?
Michonne.
No. Who's in the helicopter?
Oh, I can't remember their name, but it's the other faction.
From the World Beyond?
I think so, yeah. I've not watched, I'm not gonna lie, I've watched a couple of episodes and I can't get into that either. I miss our group, so
I did binge watch it. I understand why it didn't make it.
Yeah.
Final thoughts there, starting with Louis, what the show was to you?
Well, the show was something I talked about all the time, and for them to do 11 seasons and still have interest in everyone, it's pretty cool and pretty amazing, to be honest with you, because a lot of shows cut off 4, 5, 6 seasons, and it's like they kind of run out of material and stuff. But like, you know, it just the seasons just got better. You know what I mean? And I'm anxious to watch this episode. But yeah, it's an awesome show. I'm so glad I was able to get into it and really enjoy it, you know, as much as it just got better and better, man.
Sweet. All right, Lewis. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Scotty, your final thoughts?
Oh man, it's been an amazing 11 years with this show. Honestly, it's given like people so many like new careers, like actors new careers, brought us new people. It's been a roller coaster. It's been honestly awesome, and it's great to see like an actual horror series do so bloody well. And it's been great. Just I'm genuinely gutted it's finished, but I know it's not done because we've got all their spin-offs. So we're not done, and I'm sure we will see. And I think they're kind of leaving it open where they could all come back again.
Yeah, I think it could be.
Let's revisit.
And I definitely thank you for representing the UK and staying up till 4 a.m. for us. So it's well appreciated.
No problem.
Gabe, your final thought on The Walking Dead?
As somebody who's watched it since the first season when it aired, as soon as I could, read the graphic novels several years before that, who's laughed, cried, got grossed out, and even sat through all the dragged out narratives, but still always never let it take away his ability to enjoy it, never let any character's death to childishly prevent him from continuing the show. I can't believe it's over. But now that it's over, I need to make more of an effort to catch up on the spin-offs and the ones I haven't started, the ones I have started. But as a show, it's not just a show, it's also relevant. You know, you love the characters, but also you realize there's so much relevance in terms of, we saw that with COVID. We saw this with the pandemic, you know, after, like, even when you think like, this COVID is the worst zombie apocalypse ever, you realize no matter how bad things get, people will always be like, no matter what terror the world has, the Walking Dead, the real danger are people. The most dangerous are people, and we have to stick together. We have to work together. We have to fight for each other, as opposed to just fighting to survive. That survival of the fittest thing, which is what, but you see in the characters in the show have a little bit of both. Survival of the fittest, but it is also like repair the world, heal the world, fight for each other, for community, for unity. And as somebody who's Jewish, who's the term, there's a term in my religion called tikkun olam, which means heal the world, repair the world. And that's a constant in The Walking Dead. You know, not just, you know, that's what they've grown to. That's the path they've reached. Work together, even with our enemies, try to get our enemies on our side so we could repair the world, make it what it was, or if not better. And that's what they're fighting to do. Not just make an old world, to make something new. And I think that was something beautiful that the show carried out.
That's awesome. And I would definitely say, for a guy who didn't watch much television, the Wonder Years went off the air in 1993, and I never got hooked on any TV show up until then. I did binge watch stuff, but for me, being out all the time and not watching TV is the reason I got to make Pennsylvania Hardcore, the reason I got to make The Dark Military, the reason I got to help with Terrifier 2 and stuff. Like, one of my strengths as a film guy is I just have connections. I have a good network for getting locations and stuff and knowing how to make a movie on the faster side. So, you know, when I took a shot at The Walking Dead, like I said, those first 6 episodes didn't really do it as much for me. But I'm like, I'm already juiced in, keep riding it. But it re-woke me up about how good acting could be, how good writing could be, and how quickly – you know, you're in when that November episode would air, like episode 8, and then they make you wait till February, and you're like, Oh, come on. No. Yeah. I thank this audience for taking the time once again to tune in. We have a new episode every Monday morning. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And with that, guys, I will say the party is over.